Hey everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. I just need a couple seconds to syndicate this across our different simulcasts, so bear with me. I'm also going to be putting a link in the comments there in case you need it. So for the folks getting a close-up of my nostril right now, we are out live on Kickstarter and YouTube, and I just need a second to get us going on Facebook here. Facebook, hello, you're the third channel for us to go live on, so I just need a second to finish up syndicating some of the posts here, making sure it gets spread around, and then we're going to get started in a minute or so. In the meantime, enjoy the close-up of my nose hair. Okay. Just another minute, folks. I'm almost ready. Okay. Now we're just gonna share the post on a couple of our Facebook pages, and then I'll get right with you, okay? One more minute, I'll be right there. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I see I've already got a lot of people on Facebook and YouTube and Kickstarter with us today. For those of you who are new to the Chimeras Comics community, like many people are right now, I am Carmelo Chimera. I am the founder of Chimeras Comics. And all right, folks. Uh-oh, that's not going to work at all. All righty, we have to mute that. I'm trying to watch all of your comments at the same time from Facebook and Kickstarter and YouTube all at once. So bear with me as I try to keep up with everybody. Hi to Donovan and Ricardo over on YouTube, and hello to everybody watching on Facebook. Let's see how many conversations I can possibly manage at the same time. So I think everybody's here tonight because you've all heard I am giving away a comic book store. I am giving away Chimeras Comics Oak Lawn. So for those of you who didn't hear about that already, the three people in the world who didn't hear about it, I am giving away an entire business like Willy Wonka, except there's no risk of losing life or limb. I'm giving away the inventory, the fixtures, the equipment, the software, and 6 years of associated goodwill as a head start to somebody's dream of owning a comic book store. Tonight, I want to talk about why I'm doing that. I want to explain how I'm doing that and how the contest works. We've gotten a lot of great questions that I want to address because this is for real. This is not a scam, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you. So I want to address those issues that you have. So please do ask your questions in the chats. The one that'll be slowest for me to get to is Kickstarter, but I will get over to Kickstarter and answer questions as well. I want to tell you more about myself and learn who's out there, who's applying for this, get to know you guys a little bit better, you folks, excuse me. And I also we'll take a moment to laugh at some mean tweets together. The reaction to this has been crazy. I mean, it's been getting literally international news coverage. I did an interview today with a German paper about this, so it's getting all over the place, and that's very exciting. It brings a lot of people enthusiasm. Maybe 1 out of 10 people is not so happy with me because they think I'm a scam artist. I understand. Sometimes if something looks too good to be true, it usually is. So I get that they don't know me, and this is my attempt to try to get everybody to know each other better. But we're going to laugh at a few mean tweets from some cynical people, and then we're going to talk about maybe why this contest is a little bit bigger than just one store, okay? I'm going to take a quick look now at some of my comments here. Nick wants to know if this was intentional that I did this at the same time as the State of the Union. Nick, I care so very little for when President Trump speaks that I didn't pay any attention at all to when his State of the Union was going to be. The only time it ever mattered to me was when it pushed back live episodes of The Flash. So good question. No, I didn't do that on purpose. Also, no, I don't care. Great question. And thank you for being more interested in what I have to say. Aaron Murphy wants to know if we can collab on a comic idea. Aaron, hit me up. Send me a message. Send me a personal friend request if we're not already friends. I'd love to collaborate on future comic books. When I win, very good. I like that. Jason, hello. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. We have our first question. Megan McCabe wants to know, does it matter what age the contestant is to win the comic book store? Megan, yes, only to a point, 18 or over. You're going to have to be a legal adult to do this in order to execute some of the the lease agreement, the account you'll need with the distributor. All of these things require that you be an adult. They're not mine to give you, so I can't help. If you're under 18, I'm afraid it won't work. I could give you the stuff, but you wouldn't be able to legally run or operate the store. So yes, good question about the age there. Comics is greater than State of the Union. Yes, that is a true statement. Can we put a giant Hulk or Thor on top of the store? Rick, absolutely. You can do whatever your heart desires with it. It will be yours. You may need to deal with local zoning codes about that. Also, I think Oaklawn is a pretty firm anti-kaiju stance. So they might mistake the Hulk or Godzilla or something like that as a genuine threat. I would be careful about that. Enrique over on YouTube, hello, nice to see you. I'm going to go check on our friends over at Kickstarter as well. They were the first channel for me to go live on here, so I just need a second. So let me start by telling you a little bit about what I want to be doing here with this. Basically, it's like this. I have been regarded with, oh, let's see what he has to say. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Some people are giving me a chance. Probably the busiest YouTube chat yet. Reading all of Carmelo's comics in the back there. Tim Corrigan, I'm a disabled vet who dreams of creating graphic novels about the 2 Iraqi refugees I helped raise here in Boston. Look forward to connecting. Wow. Tim, reach out to me. I'd love to learn more about your project, man. That's fantastic. Let's see here. I thought this was the State of the Union. Yes, that's a point. I can see the confusion because I'm also a big loudmouth. Unfortunately, there is one key difference between me and President Trump. My tan is real. His tan comes from Cheeto dust. Let's see here. How come the winner does not get access to the Diamond distributor account for the store and has to start a new one? Just curious. That's a great question. So the distributor has their own accounts, their own credit check that they'll make people go through before giving you an account. Then they'll decide based on that check what your terms are going to be. So because of that, you're going to have to go through Diamond's clearance anyway to get a distributor account to be a comic book store. Again, nothing I can do about that. I could give you my account, but they're going to make you go through the whole thing anyway. The other side of it is Diamond makes you personally guarantee your account. In other words, and this is a little bit of quasi-legal stuff here, I have to be careful about saying things that could be construed as legal advice because I have ethical restrictions on me from the Attorney Regulatory and Disciplinary Commission. So I have to be careful about giving legal advice. But generally speaking, people form corporations to try to insulate themselves and have protection for their assets. But if you have a personal guarantee, it kind of gets around some of those corporate protections. Diamond will require a personal guarantee. So I can't be personally guaranteeing someone else's business now because I want this to go on for many years and be very successful and have nothing to do with me anymore. And so I can't be on the hook for that. You can have my ordering history. You can have my future orders so that you're ready to go and you don't have weeks of no products coming in. But you can't have my account per se. So that's a very good question. that I got from Cora over on YouTube. Thank you. Bamfing Bob wants to know, what kind of training support do I plan on providing the winner? Many of us have never run a business before. Bamfing Bob, can I call you Bamfing? Bamfing, I will do my best to ensure a smooth transition. I will definitely make sure that the winner has guidance, has tutorials, live tutorials in terms of how to place the orders, how to run my particular cash register, etc. You know, things, by the way, that they could change. You get a new cash register, you get new software, it's fine. But I'll show you how to use mine. Certainly my marketing advice, those are the things I'm best at. You know, I can't provide legal advice for a non-client, but, you know, to the extent that I can point them in the right direction there, I will try to. I know what forms you need to fill out to get an account with the distributor. One thing, though, that's interesting is all of the interest in opening comic book stores has made me think about an old idea of mine, which is franchising. So I will, and this goes to another question. Someone asked, Mitch wants to know if the store will still be Chimera's Comics. And so this goes to that question. I will offer the winner a chance to be our first licensee or franchisee, and they could still be called Chimera's Comics, and we could still work in collaboration, and they would have a substantial amount more guidance and resources than if I just give them a business and my blessing and tell them to go with God. So that's voluntary. You want to change the name, you want to rebrand when you win, please, by all means. I really mean it. This is not, I'm not trying to like coerce anybody into making Chimera's Comics 2 or anything. But if the winner should so choose, I will make that offer. And if other people are interested similarly, then, you know, maybe that's something I'll open up to the public. Good questions all around. I'm going to switch over for a moment to some Facebook questions here. You know, I had a spiel ready, but I'd much rather answer questions for you guys, so this is great. Let's see, backing up just a little bit here. David McPike wants to know, does the lease need to be renegotiated or can the store be moved? The store can be moved. One of the things of value, though, is that people know a store is there. So you either don't want to move or you would want to move close by or on the same street so that people will find you. There used to be 10th Planet in Oak Lawn, and I swear to this day, some people come in and still think it's the same store. Because to a lot of people, the neighborhood comic shop is the comic shop. It's not 10th Planet. It's not Chimera's Comics. It's the comic shop in town. So some people just think it's the same store. But for that reason, you want to kind of be in the same area. Right now, the lease can be, so I don't want to be on the lease. I'm not going to be a subletter, or I'm not going to be a sub-landlord. I do not want to be in the middle between a landlord and a tenant. And the reason is I don't know the winner, right? And I haven't required references. I haven't required a resume. I haven't required credit checks. I don't want to do those things. I want to pick a dreamer. But at the end of the day, if I'm still on that lease somehow, that makes me on the hook for somebody who's potentially not a good tenant, right? And I could be liable for not only their rent, but damages or things like that. I don't want to be a party to that. So as a condition, the new winner is going to have to come to a lease agreement with the landlord. Again, that's not mine to give. Even under the lease, most contracts have a non-assignability clause that says, hey, you can't just give the contract to somebody else. I made a deal with you. I want that deal to be with you. So you're going to have to reach your own agreement. That's a good question there. Let's see here. Aaron Murphy, can we keep the name? I did address that. If you missed it, you can keep the name if you want. It might be part of a licensing program, and I'll have to work out those details with the winner. You don't have to keep the name. I see why it's, you want to try to maintain some brand consistency and customer loyalty, continuity. There's value in a brand. It's identifiable. And then cross promotions with my other stores will be very effective. Something to think about. Jason wants to know, will I be available at first for any questions on operations and such? Would hate to disrupt your regular customers. I definitely will provide as much guidance as I can. I don't want to say anything that's going to box me into like legal requirements or what would later be called representations. People will say like, oh, well, you swore you'd be there for me. So I can't make any official comment like that. But what I can do is say that I will give you my support. I will show you how to do the things you need to know how to do. I am not going to just hand you the keys and say, good luck. That's not going to happen. All right. I want you to be successful. I want to give someone a dream job here, but I also want to see them succeed. Let's see here. Aaron lives in Oak Lawn. That's terrific. Let's see here. Rick says, so if you already have an account, it's just an easy transfer. Again, Rick, with the Diamond account, it's not just an easy transfer. It's literally like opening a brand new account. I've inquired. If I'm going to put somebody new on the account, take myself off the account, they do. If you want the account number, you can have the number. It doesn't really mean anything. To be honest, it might be kind of tough because the Chimeras Comics Diamond account is what's called a child account, and the LaGrange store is the parent account, so they're connected. And we're not going to be on the hook for each other's finances. So I'm going to disconnect those. So by the time you disconnect it, take me off, add somebody new. As far as Diamond Comics is concerned, it's a new account. Not my rules. That's not me. I had nothing to do with that. Hello to Antonio on Facebook. Nice to see you. David wants to know what POS system are you providing. All right. Right now we're using Mobi. Mobi because we use Macs. You will be getting a Mac computer with the store. This may be something you want to change. My understanding is Mobi will not be offering support going forward, so it might be something where you want to change over to Diamond Comics Suite. They have a lot of good introductory offers, something you might consider, discounts, broken down payments, credits in terms of inventory. So you might want to consider getting Diamond Comics Suite, but for now you'll inherit Mobi, the POS system. It already has the barcode scanner, the receipt printer, the cash drawer. It's all calibrated, configured. And I can provide a modest amount of tech support with those things, at least for a little bit to get you going. Corey wants to know, does the collection of the application fee go to the new owner? No, the new owner is not going to get any cash from this deal. I'm not handing over operating accounts or bags of money to anybody. What the winner is going to get is tens of thousands of dollars of inventory, fixtures, equipment, and 6 years of associated goodwill, but not cash. Antonio wants to know, do we have regular customers or people in the community that regularly come to the store? Yes, Antonio, we have a number of subscribing customers who come in for their same regular things every week. And I'm sure we'll do everything we can to introduce you and to make you known to them personally. And hopefully you'll be able to attract new subscribers. And but yes, we do have regular customers already. Oscar is a little late to the party. No, Oscar, I'm not selling my store. I am giving it away for free in a competition. Aaron Murphy pointed out that, yes, some of the application costs are going to go to legal fees. Some of it's going to go to my time. I have a lot of essays to read, and I have a lot of transition work to do. That's coming out of like my time personally, right? And I have a full-time job, so the opportunity cost is pretty high. I'm going to take a quick look over at Kickstarter to make sure I'm not ignoring any comments there. Nobody's commenting over on Kickstarter, so we're going to kick back over to YouTube for a minute here. Let's see here. Chaos Knight, never owned a business, love comics, good to hear. Sergio Silva says the training starts when I bite you and you gain the powers of a business owner. Sergio, let's be friends. Send me a friend request on Facebook. I would love that. Ariel wants to know, will the winner keep all the current inventory? Yes. Robert wants to know how many employees are on staff. We have a full-time manager and we have a part-time employee. Now, this is not a requirement of the contest, but I anticipate that the winner is going to be somebody who's going to operate the store themselves, right? And the current manager is not interested in staying on after this transition, and that's fine. I respect that. They're not indentured servants. But to the extent that we have employees to whom we can refer you, once again, you're welcome to work out an employment relationship with them if you'd like. I am not their slave driver. I am not their master. They're not mine to give you. It's, so that's something you'll have to work out with them. Let's see. Bamfing Bob has another question. Bamfing, how many employees do you employ? Oh, sorry, got that. Andrew wants to know, will the transition process change for anyone coming from out of state? Andrew, yeah, there's going to be logistical problems with coming in from out of state that I have not anticipated. And we'll have to work those out. I don't know. Are you moving? Are you relocating? Are you going to do this remotely? Are you going to hire somebody to run it? These are all things I'll have to figure out with the winner. So it's going to be different. Do I know how? No. I did limit it, and this is kind of sad, but I did have to limit it to the United States for that reason, because like out of state presented all kinds of logistical problems. Once I started talking about out of the country, there were international contract law, international tax law, things that I know nothing about. But as a lawyer, I know enough to be scared of them. So, yeah, I had to limit it to the United States for that reason. So good question over there. Brenton wants to know what kind of things I'm looking for in the competition essay. Well, Brenton, that's a good question. It's not a science. I do not have a rubric, right? I am looking for a feeling. I'm looking for passion. I'm looking for creativity. I'm looking for drive. These are all things you're going to need, right? At the end of the day, I'm handing somebody a clean slate with, I mean, I can't, again, I don't want to put a dollar figure on it because I could be told I'm legally making a representation and I don't have accounting documents in front of me. But it's tens of thousands of dollars of inventory and fixtures and so forth. And an established customer base. If you were going to start a business tomorrow, you would have no customer base, no guarantee of any kind of regularity in business. And you'd have to spend all that money to get all that stuff, right? So I'm giving somebody like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here. But you're still going to work hard. You're going to work really hard. If you want to do a crappy job, you're right. You probably don't have to work really hard, right? And the thing will just fall apart at the end of it. So that's not what I want to see happen, though, right? I want to see someone succeed. And so I am looking for that drive. I am looking for the passion. And I'm looking for the creativity because I want to see somebody who's going to do something special. That's what sets small business aside these days, particularly in an era where online retail continues to take over. Small business can do things that big businesses can't. That's what I love about the comic book business. That's why I'm keeping Kamara's Comics LaGrange. I love renting out the movie theater and taking people to the show. I love doing conventions. I love Free Comic Book Day. We're going to continue to do stuff like that. And I want someone in Oak Lawn who's going to continue to do those things. Could the new owner cut a deal with Kamara's Publishing? From J. Samuel Guerrero. Yes, Jay, I would love to cut a deal with whoever is going to be the winner. I'd love it if you carry our products. I'd love to do signings there. Yeah, absolutely would love to collaborate in any and every way we can think of there. Mitch wants to know, will the store close at all during the transition process, or do you want it to be a quick transition? I would like the transition to be quick, and I would like to do it without having to close, ideally. You know, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray, but I'm going to try. Let's see here. How is the business? Because comics are not as well going as they used to be. Bob Grandstaff. Bob, that's a good point. Globally, 2017 was the worst year for retail in United States history. And you're seeing lots of big box stores closing all over the place. Small business is not immune to that. And I have my own theories about how that's going to shake out over the next couple of years if you guys want to hear it. But as far as it pertains to comic books, yeah, it's hurting, right? The industry's hurting. And yet the independent comic store continues to thrive while chains like Barnes & Noble and Toys R Us are going under. So why is that? You know, the comic book stores are different. It creates a community. That's why we've tried to do so much online with creating a community of people who feel connected with one another through the stuff that they love, right? Because another interesting fact that's important is 2018 independent bookstore sales are up nationwide, right? So you have retail globally going down, but you have independent bookstores, which includes comic book stores, going up. And I think it's going to continue to be successful over time. Now, how's my Oak Lawn business doing? Not as good as it used to, and this is the reason I'm doing this. A lot of people have said, well, he doesn't really want to give away the store. It's a scam. It's just going to take your money and run. That's not true. One way or another, at the end of this month, I am done. If I don't hit 500 applicants, I may still give the store away. I just don't have to give the store away. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'd love to answer questions about that because that's garnered a lot of suspicion. We'll talk about that later. But what I'm saying is I'm not doing a good job anymore. I am not making the best comic book store I can make. Every time I go in there, I have a list as long as my arm of stuff that I want to do to make that store incredible and make it better and increase sales. And I don't have the time. And meanwhile, my passions are growing into publishing and writing, but I'm not even doing those things as well as I could do. Those things are taking off tremendously. Magnificent raised over $8,000 on Kickstarter, and then Seller Door rolls over $10,000, $12,000. Like, it just keeps going up. But I have Kickstarters outstanding that I need to fulfill, and I'm working on it, and I promised people an update on those things during this live stream, and I'll talk about those more in a minute. But I want to address Bob's question. I realize the less I'm involved, the less sales are. The business needs someone who's going to be there. So, at the end of the day, sales used to be higher, but I know that an involved owner will raise those sales again. And either way, I promise you, if your dream is to open a comic book store, there is no question about it. Starting from scratch, you are starting with zero business and no guarantees. And here it's a totally different story because you do have customers. You do have the sales track record. I'll bounce over to Facebook for just a minute here. Let's see here. Everyone, if you are interested in entering the contest, I put it in the Facebook post. It's the first comment on YouTube. You can go to camariscomics.com/win-comic-book-store. I should come up with a better link. But if you have trouble, actually, if I have a friend watching right now, can anybody post the link for me? I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up with comments. I don't want to let you guys down, and having trouble keeping up as we go. I see Danny Romero's on. A saint, my savior. Danny, if you would please share the link to apply to the contest, that would be great. Let's see here. Trying to get back to the comments. I see that I'm way behind. Dave, if he wants to know what kind of startup funds am I recommending the new owner obtain? David, that's a great question because remember, I'm not giving cash, right? I'm not giving operating accounts. And if you are going to rely on sales to just instantly give you enough money to, pay for everything, that's not how it works, right? Sales come in steadily, like cash flow spread out over time. Bills hit all at once, and they're going to hit during that first month. I'd recommend at least a few $1,000s, but the more money you have to come in as a cushion, the better off you're going to be because you don't want to be going week to week. You don't want to be thinking, oh my God, I hope I make enough money today to pay the electric bill. Like if you come in with $0, then that's where you're at, right? So you need some operating account. I'll try to coach people about that, as I select a winner. So that's a good question. Ed wants to know, will I finish giving away Kickstarter rewards? Ed, I'm not done, right? I'm still going to own Camaris Comics LaGrange. I'm still going to be publishing. I'm still going to be writing. We're going to be running our online community. I'm planning a convention. I have 2 other things up my sleeve coming up soon. I am not done with Camaris Comics. I'm only giving away the Oak Lawn location. I am absolutely going to fulfill those Kickstarter rewards, but that's my point, is I should have been able to finish that months ago, but then we had to move the LaGrange store, and then one of my business partners left, and then. It's always something. If I need more free time to do better at Kickstarter, to fulfill faster, right? I'm the bottleneck now. It's not anybody else anymore. It's my fault. I need to go faster. I'll have all my Kickstarter rewards out this month. That's going to happen. We're going to have a party at the store like I promised, and we're going to have a great time. And that's going to happen. So I'm not walking away from any of that. Good question, Ed. Dave wants to know the store's gross profit or loss. And I'm going to answer all the financial questions right now. These are very good questions. These are fair questions. But, I'm an M&A attorney, and we don't give out sensitive financial diligence unless it's protected by a non-disclosure agreement. Just not how it works. Let's pretend I didn't get to 500 people and I don't give the store away. Now all my competitors know my business, right? That's bad. Alternatively, let's say I give the store to you. All your competitors know your business now. We can't have that. So I'm afraid that stuff I will share with the winner, obviously, and I will share with the winner before they have to accept, but I can't publicize it. Now, again, regardless of where those figures are, you need to compare this to opening a business from scratch. That's tens of thousands of dollars out of your pocket. First of all, first and last month's rent right there. Boom. Thousands of dollars you're never going to see again. Signage, thousands of dollars you're never going to see again. Inventory. You forget what you need to come in every week. You need, oh man, when I opened Chimera's Comics LaGrange, we spent $20,000 on inventory. And that place looked like the Grinch had come in and stolen everything. That's how empty it was. After 20 grand, incredible, right? It takes an incredible amount of money to stock a comic book store, but you get it, right? Basically what I'm saying is any sales above zero are a head start, the likes of which no new business could dream of. I hope that answers that question adequately. Dave wants to know, what are the 2 or 3 most important things the winner needs to be prepared to do to carry on the store's legacy? Wow, Dave, that is a great question. I think, first of all, customer service is key. We've not always been perfect at that. I've been, you know, when I'm in the store, I do my best. You know, some of our employees are really excellent. But to really carry that legacy on, you're going to have excellent customer service. Get to know people, get to know what they like, get them to learn to trust you and your recommendations. The second thing is being involved in the community, right? It's very important to be involved in the community. I'm talking about giving to charity raffles. I'm talking about letting Boy Scouts sell popcorn in front of your store. I'm talking about, you know, being engaged online and giving back when you can, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm giving, even if I got 2,000 applicants, I am taking a major loss giving away this business for nothing. There's no doubt about that. I want that same spirit of charity to continue on. But not just charity, involvement. You know, we do the movie screenings. We do, you know, Halloween Comic Fest. I've given away Halloween trick-or-treat bags with safety tips on the back. Like, you know, good grades rewards programs. These are all things that you have an opportunity to shape people's lives. That's why I love comic book stores. That's why I'm giving this one away. You have a chance to be a positive influence on so many people. And I hope the owner takes that. I'm going to try to be more brief with my answers because I know I'm going on a bit long here. Rick, I'd love to be able to just walk to work every day like I do to get my comics now. You know? Jason, square footage. It's about 1,200, maybe 1,400 square feet. There's very little back room space, so all of that is floor space, which is very nice. Do I have an idea of the time frame for the transition? I want to pick a winner ASAP, and I want the new owner running the place by March 31st. That's my goal. I need to evolve with the marketing to adding more collectibles like Marvel Legends and other stuff. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Again, I love Marvel Legends. I carry some. I have a crap ton of them. I love customizing them. Chimera's Customs. Another project I want to spend more time on if I weren't running the business. I need time and effort to go in and do the orders and stay on top of it. That's where I'm doing a bad job, Rick. Let's see. Aaron, in terms and conditions, says by March 31st. Thank you, Aaron. Jeff, just able to join. Do you mention how much the current lease is? No, I will repeat this one last time. I'll repeat as many times as I need to, guys. I can't publish the financial diligence. I'm giving all of my competitors information about me, and I'm giving the winners, future competitors, information about them. You don't want to inherit a business where I just dumped all your dirty laundry on the internet, do you? All right. God bless you, Danny, for sharing that link. Thank you. What ward is the store located in? Any one candidate you leaning towards today with policy that helps the comic book store? Nick, that's a good question. I have to check the ward number. Our alderman, we don't have alderman. We have we have alderman at the Village of Oak Lawn. Our representative is Dan Lipinski. Golly, let me be honest with you. I'm not prepared to answer a question like that. I have to give it some thought. What kinds of policies could impact local comic book stores? That's a good question, though, Nick. Let me think about that. Kurt Schmidt, how can someone realistically complete your list of terms in the allotted time period? Start an LLC, get insurance, business license, negotiate a lease. Kurt Schmidt, I can create a business, apply for the Diamond account, and get that lease. I don't need a month. I need a week, right? Obviously, whoever is doing this, I expect them to put in some effort. I'm not going to do it for them, but I know it can be done like that. So Good question. I understand that that is a frightening time frame, but as an attorney and as someone who has started many, many businesses, I can tell you I picked that time frame understanding that it can be done in that time frame. The leases that I ended up going with never took more than 3 weeks to negotiate. I've been in longer lease negotiations. They fall through. Forming a company, getting a diamond account, you form a company in a day, you know, diamond account. Depends how long it takes them to turn it around, but it can be done. Good question. Nick, your names will be on the wall of the LaGrange store. Yes, they will be. Kurt points out in terms of financing, you will need the rent and new signage. If you change the name, yes, you will need new signage. My hope would be to negotiate it so that you can pick up the lease without having to pay first and last month's rent. But we'll see how that goes. Kurt says all you're getting with this is the inventory. Any customers not alienated by this and fixtures. I think Kurt's pretty upset with me. I'm sorry if I did something to let you down, Kurt. I really am. I remember us as friends fondly. So if we have some issue, I'd love to talk to you about it. Has this alienated some customers? I don't know. I hope not. I hope they see that what I'm trying to do is like a generous thing. I think like trying to sell a business is, cold and unfeeling. I'm going to take a bath on this. But I'm trying to give somebody a dream here, I'm trying to spread a little more positivity in the world. Guys, I'm gonna say something that's been bothering me before I answer any more questions. Look, I've seen so much positivity from this. I promised you I'd read mean tweets, but I've got so many questions here that I think that's more important right now. We can get to some of the fun stuff another time or later. I will if you guys ask. But the gist of it is this. Most people have told me it's life-changing, inspirational. Thank you. You're showing people that dreams are possible is one thing I heard. I love it. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. Not for me to have some kind of attention, but to spread in the world the idea that your dreams are possible, that the limits you place on yourself are most times in our heads. And I wanted to be that beacon. Because then as I look around at the negative comments I've gotten, at the hate mail I got, at the visceral response that Geek and Sundry saw and wrote me about, like, there is a lot of fear and suspicion and anger in the world. I want to do something to make that a little less. I want a little less skepticism and cynicism in the world. And I want a little more hope. I want a little bit less, 2017, 2018 weren't those horror movies of a year. I want a little bit more. No, 2019 might be the year I started dreaming again, right? That's what I hope for. I hope this is a wave of positivity in the world. I'm going to go over to YouTube because I feel like I've been ignoring you folks for a little bit. Let's see here. I'll do my best to get to all of you guys here. Let's see here. Diving into the YouTube comment. All right, I answered that question. Rogerio, Mr. Ramos wants to know, have I passed the minimum for the competition? No, I have not passed the minimum yet. So if you've entered and you want to make sure I give this store away, please share the contest because I have to hit that 500. Good segue into what happens if I don't get to 500. All right, I had to pick a minimum to protect us. Why? Well, suppose I did not get this reaction. Suppose one person entered. I'd have to give it to that person, even if I didn't feel they were going to be good at it. Maybe 10 people entered and I didn't feel like any of them was the right fit. I needed a representative sample. On the other hand, there was a legitimate fear, and I didn't say this earlier because I don't want to sound accusatory, and I'm not going to call anybody out specifically, but there was a fear that certain competitors or people with grudges might stack the deck. Get all your friends, get all your employees, get all your whatever to enter the contest, stack the deck, and then I'm stuck giving it away to somebody who just wants to close it down. Couldn't have that. So I set a 500 minimum. If I do not hit 500, I may still just give the store away. I will definitely find something to do with it that is in keeping with the spirit of spreading that inspiration and spreading the dreams and spreading the hope and the joy that comic book stores can bring a community. I will do that. I am not keeping the money and going to rock and operate the store. Not happening. I'm done. I am done one way or another. I want to be clear about that. By the end of March, I need to be moving on. I've got Kickstarters to fulfill. They're not going to take till March. I'm going to do them this month. But I've got projects. I've got 2 more comic book projects in the works right now and a book I'm writing on top of the other projects I'm planning. This is not a GoFundMe, as one person accused me of. I'm done at the end of this. If I hit 500, I'll give the store away to a contestant. If I don't hit 500, I might pick one of the contestants, or I'll find something else equally awesome to do with this. Good question. What kind of taxes could the winner end up paying? Otavio, lawyers have to be very careful while giving tax advice. A lot of it is easily misconstrued as how to cheat taxes. Most lawyers send emails with at the bottom disclaimers that say something to the effect of like, nothing in this email is to be construed as tax advice. So I really got to be careful answering your question. I will work with the owner to structure it in a way that is as favorable under the law as we can make it for everybody. Sorry for the, I'd love to be able to speak colloquially. I know it makes people trust me less when I talk like a lawyer. But on the other hand, people call me a scam artist, right? So I'm either a legitimate person doing this the right way or I'm a scam artist. I got to go with legitimate, even if that makes me sound lawyerly sometimes. How many times can someone submit an essay? Once. Jay, you only get 1 entry. If you want to submit more entries and more essays, I will only consider the first one. Bam Thing Bob. I answered that question already. Sorry. Oh, man, it backed up quite a bit. Man. Could the winner maybe add an expansion to the store in other areas of nerddom? I hope you do. The nice thing about a comic book store, even if you were to do some kind of franchise model, is comic book stores can be toy stores too. They can be collectible stores too. They can have old stuff. They can have new stuff. They can have games. They can have gaming. They can have video games. You could have records. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I want to see that kind of creativity. Good question. I've used the stores as an opportunity to spread out, to spread out into publishing. Some of you might know I've got my first graphic novel here. I have next to me because I promised I'd give away prizes, but I've just got so many questions to answer. Magnificent was a project that grew out of the store. It was a store that became a publishing company. So I sure hope that, you bring that kind of enthusiasm to the business as well. Let's see here. I spent the summer and winter working at Shakespeare and Company in Paris, and their unique model of cooperative community built around their English language bookstore is an inspiration to me. No, that's awesome to hear, Tim. Absolutely. Robert Pelican wants to know, does the store have a decent back issue selection, or do clients generally stick to new books? We do have a large back issue collection. I'm not saying we have a large Silver Age collection, but we have a large back issue collection. And I find most people are gravitating toward graphic novels, but Oak Lawn specifically, way more than LaGrange, people come in looking for back issues. Good question. Is there supposed to be audio? Can you not hear me? No, Shal says there's audio. Yep. Shal, did I say that right? I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. If I don't get 500 applications, will people get a refund? The application fee is not refundable because this is going toward the massive amount of time that this is taking from me, including the legal fees associated therewith. But like I said, even if I don't get to 500, I'm still going to do something with the store and probably give it away. And this is all going toward that end. This is not going to in my pocket so I can keep running the store. Not going to happen. I'm seeing more financial questions. I'm not ignoring you, but the thing to remember is, again, I'm not going to publish somebody else's future financial diligence online. I just can't do it. Will Diamond let a new account open considering the pre-existing shop is down the road? Yeah, absolutely they will. They did for me. Can I get one of those shirts you're wearing? You sure can. I'll put the Chimera's custom shirt up online. Absolutely. Thanks, Robert. Let's see here. Cora switched over to Facebook. Is the store organized as its own corporation or LLC? Lewis, good question. Again, not going to give diligence like that to the public, but I will tell you this. Does not matter because there's 2 ways you can do this kind of a deal. You can do an equity deal where you would buy the company, or excuse me, you're not buying it, I'm giving it away. Or you can do an asset deal. We're doing this one over here. It's a lot simpler because it means there's a lot less connection between the businesses then. I'm going to continue to operate Chimera's Comics LaGrange as a separate entity. So I need that to be separate. Can we hire you as a consultant after winning, says Ronell Whitaker. I'd love to hear your ideas for things you want to do but haven't yet. Someone else asked something to the effect of, can we get that list as long as you're on? Yeah. You know what? If you want to hire me as a consultant, or to the extent that I will give you the time that I can give you for free. But to the extent that you need more, sure, you can hire me as a consultant. I'll happy to help any small business in any way that I can. I've done a lot of crowdfunding consulting. I've raised over $100,000 on crowdfunding across 5 campaigns, and they weren't all for me. I raised $72,000 in one campaign for a client once. I'd be happy to advise you. I'd be happy to give you that list as long as my arm of ways to improve the comic book store, or ways I would have improved it. Lewis says the asset deal is what I normally would expect. So again, apologies, Lewis, and apologies to everybody. I do not know everyone's level of sophistication. So sometimes I explain things, more simply than maybe is befitting your intelligence. I apologize for that. I have to explain to people who've never heard of any kind of M&A or private equity transaction. I'm going to switch over to Facebook a little bit here. You stated previously the Chimera brand can possibly be used, but that's something that's got to be discussed after Kurt Schmidt. Yeah, I mean, again, it's up to the new owner. If they don't want my name, I'm not going to make you take it. I could have. Diane O'Brien, this is super amazing. A Cinderella story. Thank you for the opportunity. Diane, thank you very much for the kind words, Diane. I really needed that. And that's exactly the kind of positivity that I hope to spread, and I hope to continue to spread to the comic book industry. The stores are one great way to do it. Our Facebook group is another way we do this. We spread a safe, judgment-free place to share the things we love online. My stories are the way I do it. You should see what Danny Romero and I are working on with Magnificent Genesis, the prequel. It's the story we need for our time. That's the kind of positivity, that's the kind of timeliness, the kind of conscientiousness that the comic industry and the world needs. If I can play even a small part of that, then I'm humbled. Jeff, do I think it's doable for a non-local? Yeah, it's doable. Is it going to be a lot harder? Absolutely. But it's totally doable. I will tell you this. I have, our newest manager, Danny Romero in LaGrange, is, one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And, you get someone like her in your corner and you're going to have a good time with your comic book store, even if you're remote. Rhonda, is the store large enough for gaming? It sure is. Rhonda says customers can be regained with good customer service. Yes, that's absolutely true. And you know what? Have we alienated people over the years? Possibly, probably. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But I'll tell you what. This publicity, I think people will come in. People will want to come see you. They'll want to come see the dreamer who won the golden ticket, who won Willy Wonka's contest. They'll come in to see under new management, and you'll have a chance to win them back. So, not only will we have my current customers, but you got to crack at a whole new ball game. Let's see here. Corey, to get back behind the counter of a comic book store and see customers as excited as you are on a daily basis. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes it worth it. And that's why I can't do it anymore. I can't be there. I practice law through business hours every day. I'm not there. I don't get to enjoy it the way one of you is going to get to enjoy it. That's why I've got to do this. Jeremy, thank you for this golden ticket. To own a comic book store would be my dream. You're very welcome, Jeremy. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Rhonda, this is a great dream. Just remember having operated capitalism lost. Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. Rick, don't listen to the haters. It's the internet. Everybody wants to be a Debbie Downer. This is amazing. You don't see other people doing this. Thank you, Rick. Jason, I'm all in. Thank you again just for the chance. Robert O'Neill, I'm not going to read your comment out loud because I can't have it represented in my own. Oh, my God, I'm going to cry right now. Rick, oh, wow. Stan Lee would be proud of you for this, just saying. Thank you so much. That's the best thing I've heard since this started. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rick. Wow. Okay. Gonna need a drink of those. Whew. Okay. I'm not crying. You're crying. All right. Let's see here. Back to YouTube. Oh, let's check on Kickstarter. Make sure nobody's over there looking for us. We got some. Some of these we talked about already. Donovan, as much as I want to enter, I know I wouldn't do the store any justice to those who are entering. I want to say good luck. As for me, I'll try to reach my dream of being a writer. Donovan, that's terrific. You've got to follow your passions, and it's great that you can admit like what is and isn't for you. Like anyone looking at this and thinking, I'm going to get tens of thousands of dollars of inventory. This is great. I'll just liquidate it, whatever. Like they're not the right person for the job. Someone who says like, oh yeah, comic book stores are kind of cool. I think I'd like to do that. It's not the person for the job. Someone like Donovan who has the honesty and the integrity to know where their limits are and know what they want to do and how they want to be involved in this industry is going to be very successful because he's true to himself. Thank you, Donovan. Let's see here. Back to YouTube. This is awesome. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. MD, have your customers expressed concerns about the big change? Well, you know what? That's a good question. Again, I'm not there in the store every day, but I'll tell you this. You know, I email my customers once or twice a week. They email me back. They've been telling me this is amazing. They're commenting here on these posts. They're telling me it's amazing. I've got some comments coming in even from my website right now on Drift here. Let me see here. Give me just 1 second. Sorry about this. Alrighty, I'm just got to turn off this chat because I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring them here on Drift. That is one kind of cool feature about my website. If you go over there, you can chat with me directly. If I'm active, I'll have it on the phone. I can talk to you right there. You know, so back to the question, do the regular customers, what are they saying about it? My regular customers have been the most supportive people. I think the people who've stuck with us know that Chimeras Comics is different, and we're different because we do stuff like this. I am a crazy person. I promised you a mean tweet. I'm going to read you one. I'm not going to get too far into one because I'm enjoying the positivity here tonight. But this one is actually from a family member who will remain nameless. Where is this here? Okay. You are the most impulsive and restless person I know. You dream bigger than reality can sustain at times. That's fair. And that's why Chimeras Comics does crazy things. So I think our customers not only know and expect that of me, I think they like that. I think they want that. I think they know that we are something different. Even when I can't be at the store, the age of the internet means I get to talk to these folks regularly online and through email and through these Facebook Live sessions, of which I'm very open. Heck, we're in my house right now. I wanted to do this from the store, but there's a terrible ice storm out tonight, so I decided to broadcast from my library instead. Good questions all around. Let's see here. I think this is fantastic, but do you have friends or regulars in mind already? Am concerned, am out of town person won't have the ability to win. Do we keep the name or we brand? Is it part of your chain still? Okay, so Jeff, some of that I talked about before, but I know people are just tuning in. You can keep the name if you want. I will make an offer of some kind of licensing, franchising agreement where you can continue to operate within the Chimeras Comics family. We can negotiate that. But you don't have to. You can change the name if you want. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I encourage you to do so if that's where your passion is. But as far as do I have people in mind already? There are a lot of people who have sent me messages or commented on Facebook that are very excited. I'm very excited to read their responses. But, I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to be based on the responses. It's going to be merit based on the responses. I'm going to go into this with as few biases as I can. I mean, you have to think about it another way, Jeff. I'm an attorney. I'm bound by ethical obligations of honesty, too, and integrity. Beyond what I want to do and present myself as a businessman and as a future writer and publisher in the comic book industry, right? I want to be trusted. I know that if I end up picking somebody, the closer that person is to me, the more scrutiny I'm going to come under, right? If I give this story to my brother, everyone's going to call foul, and they're going to be right. So, I mean, if anything, someone who's that close to me has like an uphill battle. Well, let me stop you right there. Family's not included. It's not going to family member. It's not happening. But a lot of our customers and employees, you know, they brush up against that line of friend, right? And that's why I couldn't say just like, well, no customers or no employees or whatever. The line blurs when you're in small business. Small business is not personal, but it's personable. And it's getting more personal. Let's see here. let's see. I'm not going to read that. How many comic stores are in the area? There's, yeah, within half an hour of Oak Lawn. I mean, within half an hour, it takes you to Camara's Comics LaGrange. There's All American Comics. There's a few others. All American, honestly, I have no problem sending people All American. If I don't have something in stock, Carl Bonacera over at All American took good care of me when I was a kid. He used to sell me Defenders comics. And he remembers when he sees me that I bought Defenders from him when I was 15. Great guy, great shop. Mostly back issues, way more back issues than most stores in the area. I do way more graphic novels than he does. I do way more toys. He does those things too. I'm not saying he doesn't. But, they're different. It shows the variety of comic book stores. And because he takes care of his customers, I have no problem sending people there. Good question. Rhonda, would I allow the store to be moved out of Oak Lawn? Absolutely. If that's what you decide is best for your business. Do I think that's wise? Not really. I think that there's people who expect a comic book store in Oak Lawn. But so be it. Diane, people who care about other people are the real superheroes. It takes a strong person to put someone else's life above theirs. Absolutely. Kurt, I'm sorry my post came across poorly. I still consider ourselves friends, but I'm skeptical by nature. And those are a few of the obstacles that have come up to me in the past week. Kurt, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. That's exactly what I hope for out of this dialogue. I want to address your questions. I want to be transparent. I don't want people thinking there's some secret, catch to this. I want you to trust me, and I want us to be friends. So thank you very much for saying so, Kurt. If anything, you're telling me that this dialogue is working. Aaron wants the store to stay in Oak Lawn. Yep. Let's see here. My concern is parking. Rhonda, good question. There is street parking in front of the store. There is parking to either side of the store. And there's a parking lot behind the store. It can fill up depending on times of day because of the nearby restaurants and bars, but that's sort of like the double-edged sword, right? Anywhere there's a lot of parking, there's a lot of people who want to park. LaGrange has tons of parking, and people complain about the parking there all the time. It is hard to find parking. They have a 3-story garage. They have 3 outdoor lots. They have street parking. They have commuter parking. They have tons of parking, but they have tons of people. So, that's kind of the trade-off. Let's see here. Lillian says it's a healthy local ecosystem. Yeah, that's a good point. Danny says no public parking in back. There is public parking at the Oak Lawn store in the back, just not in the LaGrange store. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Any contacts with the principals or art teachers in surrounding schools? No, and that's a good example. I know some of them. I can make introductions. I know there's no more than 2 degrees of separation there. We have great relationships with the library. But that's a good example of something that your time would be well spent to develop that I am doing a crappy job at. So, good question about that. Kevin O'Brien, after giving away a life-changing opportunity like this, you can add philanthropist to your list of titles. Wait, Batman. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Rhonda, this is an opportunity of a lifetime and hard work. It is both of those things. Thank you very, very much for saying so. Hard work for me, hard work for everybody else. Absolutely. Danny, you're forgiven because I love you so much. So, and I mean that in a joking tone too, because there's nothing to forgive. She made a comment about parking that was just about LaGrange, not about Oak Lawn. So no worries there. Cora, thanks for breaking all this down for us. You're very welcome, Cora. Happy to do it. Does the store by chance have a point of sale system? Lewis over on YouTube. Yes, it does. It's called Moby, and it's yours with the business. Let's see here. Hey, Kenny. This is Eric. Oh, well, these guys are talking to each other. That's hilarious. Tim Corrigan, is the store located in a building where the dreamer can live? No, but our old location did have an apartment above it. If you want to move back to the old location, you could live above the comic book store. Let's see here. The dream is real. Thank you, Chaos Knight. I appreciate that. Cloud was here. That's nice to hear. There are onion ninjas about. Yep, yeah, watch out for them onion ninjas. Let's see here. Optimax 2. I love this. I want to apply. My fear is quitting my current job without knowing rent or utilities. Great question. And again, you know, I have trouble. You want to know if there's a ballpark over under 2,000. Let's say I said under 2,000 and my competitors are paying more. Now they say, oh crap, we need to relocate. They come in, they get cheaper rent, something like that. A bit crazy of an example, but it's the first one that comes to the top of my head, and I have been drinking a little bit. So, I mean, in fairness, someone said some really nice things about me that made me have to drink. So, I promise you this. Enter the contest. You do not have a lot to lose. $25 is nominal. And when the time comes, if you win, I will show you what the store is doing. I will show you what you need. And then you can decide. It's possible that I won't reach an agreement with the person who is the winner. And then there'll be a runner-up. So, you know, enter. You don't have a lot to lose by entering, right? You're not stuck with the prize. It's not I'm not trying to give someone a problem. I'm trying to give you a dream. So, you know, I hope that helps there. That's for Optimax 2. John Coffey wants to know Carmelo who? Carmelo Chimera. Good question. Yes, it's my real name, and it's my birth name. I got that question earlier today, too. Not a loophole. Did not change my name. I am Carmelo Chimera. Let's see here. Last question. Avoiding finance specifics. Will running the store be a sustainable single source of income? Well, I'll tell you this damn thing, Bob. It's a sustainable single source of income for the manager who runs it right now. And so if you were going to operate it yourself at the barest minimum, you got that salary right there. Let's see here. Tim Corrigan. Stanley and Mobius are collaborating on a zine to pass around the clouds to tell folks about your contest. Aw, thanks, Corrigan. I appreciate that, man. Chaos Night. I remember the joy I felt when I found Chimera's Comics because 10th Planet was just going. Yeah, I mean, that's why I opened there, right? I went to 10th Planet when I was a kid. And, you know, when they closed in Oak Lawn, that I knew they needed a comic book store. That's why I opened there, you know? Josh wants to know, have I ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Yes, I have. Josh, I'm so glad you said that because I really wanted to say, some of you have said some pretty mean things about me, some of which were true. But the one thing I am not is a killer. Just remember that. And if you guys don't get that reference, don't even bother. Skip that part of the video. But Josh knows what I'm talking about. Jay, can the store be a franchise and then later break apart from Chimera's? Sure. If you want to start as a franchise and see how it goes and see if that's something you want to do, absolutely. Yeah, there's more questions about the finances I can't answer. You know, could you quit your job and move down here and still thrive? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the cost of living is where you currently are. I do not know what your costs of relocating are. I don't know what your lifestyle is either, you know? I mean, if you want to, you know, if you want to buy a house outright with cash, you know, an Lexus, probably not. But if you know, if you want to buy that $100,000 Rolex that Adam Levine wore to the Super Bowl, then sure, absolutely, the comic shop's for you. I'm kidding. That's way too much. But my point is this, actually, it's too much money for anybody. No one should spend that kind of money on a watch. I digress. But enter the contest because you do not have very much to lose. And if you do win, you'll have the chance to decide for yourself. This is another thing I feel strongly about. And I'm going to try to get to your last questions. We're coming up to an hour. And I didn't do half the stuff I promised you. But there's something I want to say to all of you. Okay, this is important. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this contest is what it means to be human is to be free. Our freedom of choice, our free will, that's what makes us human. But you can't make a choice for yourself unless you know the options. That was the whole point of the liberal arts education I got at Carthage College in philosophy where I studied, is that you are more of a person, more of a human when you have that freedom and when you make that choice. And the point is, so many people say, nah, never, it'll never work. I remember when we opened the store in LaGrange, my partner at the time said, it'll never work, the rent's too high. We'll never be able to open there. But we did, right? The point is, we went and looked. If I had followed my gut when he asked me to open Chimera's Comics 8 years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. I'm in my first year of law school. I have no money. I can't do this. I would have said no. But instead, I said, let's see. Let's find out. Imagine if you go to a restaurant and there's nothing on the menu. There's one thing on the menu. So you order that one thing. Did you make a choice? I guess you chose the restaurant, but don't split hairs with me here. Did you make a choice about what to have if there's one thing on the menu? So what I'm doing is I'm giving everybody a chance to apply and see. See if you're the winner. See if you have the option, then decide. Because if you're the kind of person who sits back and says, you know what, screw them. Screw them because I'll never win it. And you know what? It's probably a scam anyway. There's a word for that. It's called sour grapes. When you say you don't want a thing just because you're afraid you can't have it, that's called sour grapes. And I'm not saying this to you, to whoever asked this question in the first place. I'm speaking more generally now. I'm speaking to all the negativity out there. That's a particular kind of negativity I want to take away. You do not know what you're capable of. And you do not know how many of your limits are just not real. I'm trying to get you all to challenge your limits. Challenge the presumptions that hold you back. Well, kids, I think that's about all the time we had for today. I promised you prizes. Does anyone still want prizes? Is anyone out there still? I'm not sure. Let's see what we got going on here. Man, guys, I am so sorry. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of these great questions. I'm going to go for 5 more minutes. Kenneth says freedom. Hell yeah. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes. What works, what I say, influenced Magnificent the most? Oh, thanks. What influenced Magnificent the most? Probably 2 things I was really into at the time were Heroes and Lost. And then, of course, there's a pretty healthy dose of Spider-Man in here because he's young. Heroes in the sense that Heroes really made me look at superpowers in the real world in a different way. I mean, a lot of people, you do like the Chris Nolan Batman movies. They try to make it all real. But, that's fine. But I wanted to see, like, what are superpowers like in the real world? And the early seasons of Heroes were doing that. The other thing that was popular at the time was Lost. And Lost had mastered this flashback formula at the time that was, that's my dog Stanley guest starring. The flashback formula that was telling 2 stories concurrently, and the modern story then was influenced by the past story, and they dovetailed. So those are my influences for Magnificent. Good question. I will also tell you my favorite graphic novel of all time is Mark Waid's Kingdom Come. Everything I write, even if not directly influenced, that is the bar against which I set my writing. So good questions. Thanks for that. What made me want to open a comic book store? I've talked about this in some other videos that I'm happy to share, but I will tell you this. I grew up in a comic book store, right? I used to go to 10th Planet in Oak Lawn. It's where I met some of my closest friends. It's where I started thinking about art and politics and ideas in a way that I never had before. I really feel like I grew up as a person. I grew as a resourceful, creative person from my time at the comic book store, right? I didn't do very many extracurriculars in high school. I had that job. And I saw the effect it can have on people. In fact, I've seen the effect. I have customers in LaGrange that I've seen grow up. I knew them when they were in high school. I've seen them go to college. I've seen them become world travelers and radio hosts and business owners. I've seen them become successful before my very eyes. I've seen them grow up. It's an incredible sensation. And you have a chance to give them that safe space to express themselves. That's why I opened a comic book store. And thank you for reminding me of that. Let's see here. Would I explain some of the benefits to staying part of the Chimera's family? Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not here to pitch you my franchise. This is not like a big bait and switch to sell you franchises. I may offer that at the end. Certain negative Nancy's will say that was my ulterior motive all along. But I do also want to answer your question. I guess some of the things are shared buying power, being able to split case packs on certain items that you might not otherwise be able to order sufficient quantities, which does also sometimes result in smaller discounts. Staying a part of the family means you got someone to rely on, someone you can call for advice. One very common thing is inventory swapping. You're out of an issue, you call Chimera's Comics LaGrange, maybe they'll send it over, right? Maybe Careers Comics LaGrange calls you, you send some over. You get a little more business that way. Definitely the brand recognition, the name recognition. I mean, you may not like me very much, but my name has been in comic books now for almost a decade. And it's only growing as I spread out across the country with publishing. So that might be an advantage as well. Also, you have, as a franchisee, you would have more access to me, right? And my partners. You would have advice and counsel. You would have a network of other store owners that you could talk to, especially as the franchise grows. So those are just some of the advantages. I guess the biggest advantage is this. Remember, I was 21 when I started Careers Comics. I have made so many mistakes doing this, and I've made them the most expensive way possible, right? Those are all lessons I can give you. I can give you a 10-year head start on how to do your dream job. My God, if I could hand myself in the past what I know now, I don't even know what it would look like. Let's see here. Yay, prizes. Okay, I'm going to pick 4 random numbers. I'm going to pick with a random number picker. And then I'm basing this off of the number of your comment. Donovan Coronado has been sticking with me, and he wants a prize. Donovan, I think you might already own Magnificent. So I am going to send you a prize, Donovan. I'm going to send you something separate. I'll figure something out for you. So without further ado, I'm going to wrap up with some prizes tonight. You know what? I'm kind of glad we skipped the mean tweets. I've given the negativity enough talking. The point of this is to take a shot at negativity and spread positivity. And you've all helped me do that tonight in a big way. So my first YouTube prize is going to random number picker. Here we go. Going to generator. Don't even need to write it down because it's in the live video. We're going to set the max at, I don't know. I don't have any idea how many comments I've gotten. We're going to go with 150. Now let's go with 100. Generate. All right, YouTube comment 25. You just want a copy of Magnificent. YouTube comment 100. You just want a copy of Magnificent. I will find you, but not in like the scary way, in like the good way. I'll send you a message and get your address and send it to you. Now, Facebook comment number 5. You just want a copy of Magnificent. And finally, 69. Facebook comment 69. Don't laugh. You just want a copy of Magnificent. So I'm going to find you folks. I'm going to send you guys prizes. Let's see if there's anything else I got to wrap up here. Tim Corrigan, I'm applying tomorrow, writing my essay while bumping Nas, Pitbull, and a remix of John Lennon's Imagine. Very nice. I dig it. Rogerio, I'm glad you thought this was better than the State of the Union. Thank you. Robert, I haven't finished Lost yet, so no spoilers. I actually only got like halfway through it. Well, now we're sort of getting into a Lost conversation, so I'm going to leave that behind. Tim, it is a real number generator. It's on, well, you can't see that. It's on Google Random Number Picker, and you'll see what I used. All right, everybody. I'm going to check Facebook one last time, make sure I'm not leaving anybody important on the table here. Well, everybody's important, but can we share booths or help work booths at Comic-Cons with you? Yes, absolutely. Any idea ratio comics to toys? I mean, it's probably like 75% comics to 25% toys, and that would be high. But again, carry more toys. Become known as a toy store, and you'll sell more toys. Antonio, I know you have a hard decision ahead of you. I want to thank you for this because this isn't something many businessmen would do. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate that. Nick, can paintings by local artists be sold at the store? Yeah, in fact, I'm working on trying to bring in artists to have gallery space in there. Absolutely. Rhonda, everything in life means taking risks for rewards. Rhonda, I want you and I to be friends. Send me a friend request. You're terrific. Aaron says, giggity. Jeff says, thank you. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. This has been wonderful. I've enjoyed having your questions. I've enjoyed getting to know all of you better. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I've given you a better understanding of the contest and of my intentions for the contest. And I hope you can now go and do what I can't do, which is take the message of positivity, take this message that it's okay to dream, go and spread it. Spread the good word. Tell people, hey, awesome things happen in this world. Awesome things can happen to you. Just believe it, dream it, and don't give in to the negativity. Don't give in to the hatred. And the people who are that way, treat them with compassion. Hope that whatever pain it is, whatever anger it is they're holding on to, hope that they can move past that so they can live their best life as well. I love you all so much. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm going to slowly be closing down. So thank you all. Have a great evening. Please feel free to chime in with questions. Again, if you want to enter the competition, it's in the Facebook post in the top there. It's also the first comment on YouTube. Sign up for our email list. I'll send it out there as well. Thank you all very much. Have a great night. Ending on Facebook now. You the best. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. Ending on YouTube now.